All right, we're not live. All right, this is
All
I tens
right.
and one third of the SOS podcast. We're still waiting on B, but anyway, we got our guest here, Marvis Gates the second. He doesn't go by Junior because he's too good for it. But anyway, you're an EMT. What does that stand for? Extramarital.
Nah. About to say yeah. EMT. Just stands for emergency medical technician. Yeah. Unfortunately, we work in what's called EMS, emergency medical services, and for a lot of people, that tends to mean extramarital sex. Let's just put that out there, right there. Your boy tries to stay safe out here, but there's a lot of it's
I
always a
mean,
lot of drama.
it is crazy, right? Like it doesn't matter like the esteem of the job. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it be like you know like just working retail or in the factory or something like with high regard such as yours, there's always that shit going on at the job. Somebody fucking someone else.
Oh yeah,
uh,
nah, yeah, definitely so, man. Like, I'll tell you a story. This didn't happen to me, but this is at my mom's hospital, which is the old Atlanta Medical Center that don't exist no more. But
well,
um, there was a doctor there. I don't know who the dude was, but it was a doctor there. He had two nurses pregnant at the same time.
God damn.
Yeah, and my mom would tell me that them child so like after it happened, he was like them child support payments was killing him because even
He's
though
a doctor.
doctors, yeah, doctors they make a lot of money, but it's based on your percentage, and you got two of them coming after you. Yeah, man, that's pretty wild right there. So
See what's that show? What was it? Uh, it's one of the medical shows. I think it's General Hospital or something like that. Like they just be hooking up all the time. Or
uh
one of those shows.
probably. Probably like a lot of medical shows aren't super duper accurate to a lot of stuff, but that's one thing they are like that's on point right there. Like that people just be getting around in medicine and hospitals and stuff like that. Just like any other field, it's not any different from I don't know, your corporate office. You got the head CEO messing with the secretary or something like that,
Right,
getting the
right.
secretary pregnant. It ain't no different. Humans just are very sexual, and unfortunately, we like to get down and dirty like that. So,
And as far as we know, that is our purpose. But
yep.
but on a more serious note, like you mentioned that your mom worked at the hospital. So, is there like a tradition of like working in the medical field with your family?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's probably starting with us. Probably really started with my granddad. My granddad was a researcher at Emory Hospital. This was hell probably back in like the 70s or whatever, something like that. Back in the 70s, he used to do research on uh lab animals, finding all kinds of diseases and stuff like that. One thing he told me, which I don't know how true it was, but he said they discovered like HIV/AIDS in rabbits, back in the 80s and 90s with all the like the HIV scare and stuff like
Rabbit?
that. Yeah. So
Well,
really,
I think I'd rather believe the conspiracy of somebody fucking a monkey or something.
yeah.
I'd rather
Well,
believe that. But you said rabbits probably did it.
well, no, he didn't say rabbits. He said they discovered like basically discovered probably I would say like the pathophysiology of it in rabbits. So
Huh.
not entirely, not that it came from rabbits, but they found it in rabbits.
Hmm.
And
So like
rabbits like to fuck a lot too. So
I was gonna ask, like, were they also infected or were they just carrying it?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure. He never quite really elaborated on it, but
Hmm.
that's kind of where it started. He wanted one thing he wanted my mom to eventually go to like medical school. I mean, that didn't happen. Medical school is expensive, it's
Right.
arduous, and is for some people it's not it's not possible, or I shouldn't say possible. It's not like what's the word I want to use? Like it's not fiscally responsible to go into that much debt for that long of a time.
A lot of stress too, right?
Yeah, and it's a lot of stress too. So, but yeah, my mom, he wanted her to do that, and then she got into medicine. She's a respiratory therapist, and she been one longer than I've been alive, which is longer than 33 years. So
she probably has to treat smokers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, she definitely does. That's the one thing she told. That's the one thing she told us. My granddad was a big smoker, but one thing she told us growing up was that you better not be out here smoking no cigarettes. And so that was don't smoke cigarettes. So that worked. But she was she was very well? Yeah, asthma, all that type of stuff. Even just asthma, pneumonia, COPD. Even people that just have been people have blood clots, people come out of surgeries because like a lot of times, stays in the hospital are really hard on people, even if you don't have any type of even if you didn't come in for any respiratory issues. Like they have people that that be on ventilators and stuff like that. Completely unrelated. Like I mean, I guess it is related. Like, whenever you have someone that's like, you can have someone that come in for like cardiac related issues, and they'll be placed on a ventilator for a few days or two, just for their body to catch back up, so that they're, so that they don't have to work as hard.
Cover songs.
Yeah. Like when we have when we work cardiac arrest or whatever, as far as on the ambulances, most of the time those people, we take them to the hospital, and they end up on ventilators. If end up on ventilators for a few days or for however long until their body can like rest up, because that's a traumatic event because you just died basically. So she deals with people like that, too. So like those people, they have a hard time coming off of it. They need to be on oxygen. They need to be on get breathing treatments, and all kinds of care. Because one of the things, I don't know how, this is what a doctor had told me one time, is that every day in the ICU is a week of rehab. So basically, because when you sitting there just not doing nothing, not moving, it's hard for your body to get used to, getting back into the swing of things, and swing of like normal life. Even if you're like a healthy young individual, it still can be very difficult to get back. It's mostly possible though, but most people that go to rehab end up doing better. So, but so yeah, like, that's
So, like, was that what gave you that bug to be an EMT yourself? Like, did you always know you wanted to help people medically?
Well, not really. I mean, when I was in high school, I think up until maybe my junior year in high school, I wanted to be a graphic designer. I wanted to like design images and maybe get into like video game design. And then what was it?
Still do that?
Like, huh?
So you can still do that. I know they got them programs.
That's true. My heart isn't in it anymore, so I'm not even worried about it. I like what I do. But basically what happened is that in 2008, when like the economy crashed and stuff like that. So what happened was that and it was also a big year because my cousin also was a graphic designer, and I saw him struggle to like get jobs and make money and stuff like that. And so I was like, man, do I want to do this? Be graduate and be in a whole bunch of debt. Because back then I wanted to go to the Art Institute, because he went to the Art Institute. And then I was like, oh yeah, definitely. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find something in medicine to do. So that was a big thing right there. And then just I just wanted to help people. The one thing that it's it's refreshing. It is can get be very difficult, but it's refreshing when go to work and you know that you probably are going to help somebody. Even
Mhm.
if it's not just giving them meds or treating them or something like that. Even if it's just talking to them, like because we deal with a lot of psych patients too. Some of these people just need to be talking to, and
Yeah,
then
I just need
even
an ear.
then,
Ear.
yeah, just need an ear. And even then, you have like our geriatric populations.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they'll call an ambulance, and you get there, and they just want to talk to somebody. Cause
Damn. And,
yeah, because one of the big issues that's plaguing like that population is loneliness. Well, loneliness is crazy in all age groups, but especially geriatric populations
yeah,
because
because most
you got
it's
someone.
probably like,
Right, you got someone that's 80 some years old. They live in assisted living or they live in their house. They don't really got anyone to talk to. All their friends are dead. Their kids got their own families and stuff to deal with.
mm-hmm.
Grandkids probably got all kinds of other stuff, and don't nobody want to really talk to no old people. So,
Right.
so they just kind of sitting there and just not really getting that human interaction that we
They
all
got
crave.
it's like World War II stories and shit.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, I like listening to stuff like that. I love talking to the
No
old
problem.
people. Yeah,
No.
like that, like that. SpongeBob dude. Except the opposite. Dude was like, I love the young people, and they go beat them up. Nah, I like the elderly. Even though I do got some stories about some elderly people, specifically elderly women that they
Give
do some
us
pretty crazy stuff.
give us your most like HIPAA approved retelling of an incident.
Okay, well, let's see. I mean, there's a couple. I'll give a couple because there's a lot of these are short. But I remember one time this lady, I was she needed some help or whatever, or something like that. I can't really remember, but she needed basically to go to the hospital, and she looked me in the face and told me, if I had a gun, I'd shoot you. And I said,
What?
yeah, and I said, ma'am, how you gonna shoot me and you can't even walk? Can you even hold a gun? And but I mean, that's one of them.
This is part of Georgia because your company in particular, like y'all's jurisdiction is the whole state, right? So
Yeah, we do function in the whole state. We have like what 911 services in different places. We have what's called IFT, which is inter-facility transport, which is basically hospital to hospital transports. And just about we do just about anything. So you need there are places we do 911. There are places we do IFT, and there are places they're just like say, okay, so example is one time I did a transport to Miami.
mm,
No, it wasn't Miami. It was Miramar, Florida, which is like a couple minutes. I think it's like 10 minutes outside of Miami.
but
But anyway,
still,
that's 11-hour drive
fucking hey.
for yeah. So basically, what happened is this guy he was in one of the areas we cover. Um, he came on a plane to go come visit family, and then he had a stroke.
Mm.
So he had a stroke, so he couldn't walk or move or anything like that. So the only other option was either to get on a medical airplane kind of thing, or to have an ambulance drive him all the way down there. And of course, you would choose the ambulance because trying to charter a medical plane is like tens of 20 thousands of dollars. You
Mm.
know, probably honestly, probably more than that. The ambulance bill was probably like 10,000. The airplane might be around like 50,
Oh,
60,
okay.
70,000.
God
So
damn.
but yeah, so damn, oh god. Okay, so yeah, but yeah, that's what we do. We do all kinds of stuff, and did another story from like an elderly lady was like I
Big John
remember
said
this.
your last lady was probably a was probably an insurrectionist from January 6th.
Hey man, it could have been. It could. Hey, it could have been. You know, I worked in Noonan, which is they had that big rally down there in Noonan a long time ago. Yeah, they had that rally down there in Noonan. Which there was a funny story is that I didn't work that day, but that day they had that rally. They had us they had a station all over the city just waiting just in case like another Charlottesville or something happened.
Wow.
So we was like
passes out and like those racist assholes have to be treated by you. Just be like
I mean I've been called it
off me.
Yeah, I've been called the N-word before, so you know, it's not that's not nothing too typical. Mm-hmm. One of the craziest things was a 10-year-old girl called me colored one time.
Whoa.
And I was 10? Like, what? I was like, yes, 10 years old.
Fuck.
Yeah, like 10 years old. I don't get mad or nothing like that. I just was just like, where did you learn that from? And like, you don't call people colored.
10
you just call people black.
You just feel like, you should have been like,
right.
You know?
Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately, we can't do that type of stuff. We end up losing our license.
Chopper costs how much for just a Zoom call? Like a Zoom? Let's see, like a Zoom. Like, I mean, it shouldn't be that much. Like, if it's a Zoom visit, right? Like,
what?
Like with your provider. Oh no, Big John was wondering how much a Zoom visit is.
Zoom.
Doctor.
Zoom. What's the Zoom? Yeah, oh, Zoom like, doctor. Yeah. It's pretty much the same cost. I mean, I don't think it's any different. Because a lot of doctors actually at Piedmont, Atlanta, they have robots. Like a robot, it's like this walking. Let's see, how can I describe it? Okay, so maybe for the anime fans out there, you remember the anime called Fooly Cooly. It was like a dude they had a TV as a head. Mm-hmm. They got like a robot that kind of looks like that, and it walks around the hospital, and it's like certain doctors that are far away, they can talk to people and stuff like that. Move on its own, craziest shit I ever seen. I was just up there, then all of a sudden this thing is rolling down the hallway with a face on it, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" I was like, man, this is the future. This is 2024.
Over.
Right. But no, it's probably going to be around the same because won't be any cheaper. A lot of that stuff got more popular because of COVID, as far as like doctor's appointments and stuff like that. But to my knowledge, is about the same. I mean, personal opinion, I think people should just go to the if they can, go to the office, because nothing beats actually like getting hands-on with your patients and stuff like that.
Now you mentioned COVID, so like what was that like being an EMT and having to like, you know, maneuver through COVID, not only helping others but like making sure you're good as well?
Man, that was a pretty wild time. I'm almost certain we got the first COVID patient in Noonan, Coweta County, because this was one of the things back then. You know, it wasn't like a big deal. We were like, whatever back then. And then I remember when it was like, yeah, this person probably has COVID. They gave us a call, and then my supervisor called me and told me that. And I was like, okay, what do we do? Like, what's the PPE, which is personal protection equipment that we use? And they say, oh, just treat it like the flu. That's what my supervisor told us, because we didn't know. So basically, all we did was we just wore regular regular masks, regular like the medical quality mask. We just wore that and did that. And I remember this dude. This dude was sick. Nah, not yet. No face shield yet. But it was coming.
Oh, this was like the very beginning. Okay.
Yeah, this was the very beginning. This was like, I swear this had to be the first dude, because he got into the ambulance. He was sick. Like, he was sitting there coughing, spitting up, just like all over the place. And but yeah, after that, Then maybe a couple weeks later, then that's when it started getting serious, and we started getting uh, more protocols, and I had to shave my beard and stuff like that
Mhm.
because really can't fit the mask, the N95s. You really can't fit it with a beard. Can't fit it properly with a beard, at least. Some people wear it with beards, but you can't fit it. It's not doing no good.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, plus it just looks weird. Like, at my job, I be seeing niggas with beards be having masks on. I'm like, okay, buddy, you
right,
look dumb. Like,
right, yeah. So but yeah, there was after maybe like I was saying, like a week after that, then like all these new protocols were coming in. We got had to go not really talk to someone, but they had like meeting with us, telling us what we're gonna do and what to do in these situations and what to wear. That's when we started doing like excuse me, we started doing like the N95s, the
Mhm.
gowns, the face shields, and it was like a whole thing about
We're like a
cleanliness and
SWAT
stuff like
team
that.
for medical staff, like basically.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. We was
Yeah,
like
that
we
shit on.
yeah, we was suited and booted, man, And man, them things were that thing was hot too. Like being in a cramped ambulance with like all that stuff on was it
Then you
was
got to
pretty
transport like a fully grown human, and you're like walking and all that stuff.
right. You just and then like and with me, I didn't touch them unless they needed to be touched.
Hmm.
So like I
And
mean a lot of them
this was mostly respiratory. I remember like we were like scrubbing surfaces and all. Like I still do scrub surfaces, but like is it like just a fully respiratory thing, or can you still touch somebody and get it?
I
Like
mean we didn't know that, but it is fully respiratory. It's you get it from droplets. We know that now. But back then we didn't know nothing. We just was like I just didn't want to if I didn't have to first of all, if I don't have to touch a patient, I'm not gonna touch them because folks be
okay.
nasty. So you never know what you get into when you go into these people's houses and you got these people that just be nasty, basically.
Have you ever had
Uh,
like a patient that was like a 600 pound life like kind of dude? Like you ever get one of those?
yeah, we get those pretty
Oh,
fairly often.
how do you how do you transport them? Like if you got to, like
Well, we have bariatric beds, bariatric stretchers. Bariatric stretchers can go up to about 750, I believe, 750 or 800 pounds. So the
okay.
weird thing about is that most regular stretchers are automatic, so you don't have to do too much lifting. The bariatric stretchers are manual, so you have to have a lot of manpower with stuff like that.
So you gotta like
And
slide there and then take them to the
well,
truck.
yeah, we got methods for doing stuff like that. Like I mean, we got what I want to say. We got like tarps that we'll put people on, like a
Mhm.
literal tarp, like that you have for tents.
Oh,
Like
okay.
yeah, tarps.
What
Then you
is
get the
it?
fire department out there. You said what?
Like you use the tarps to like pull them? Like what? Like
Well, no. So basically, you put them on the tarp,
okay.
and then you carry them out like a almost like a burrito, or like a yeah, like a burrito. Like
You have,
you have. You said what?
so you gotta wrap them up.
Not really wrap them up, but they're kind of just it's kind of like a sheet. Like just imagine like a sheet and someone picking you up by like the corners of a sheet, like you're laying down in bed.
Okay.
So we use that like a tarp because that's what can work for them. It's a
Oh,
tarp.
y'all like together to
Yeah, like just like it's like a heave ho type of
damn.
thing. So yeah, so we get the fire
That's
department
not
out
funny,
there.
but imagine being that big.
I
Like,
mean,
be like, hold on, fam, we gotta call the fire department. Like,
I mean, hey man, it's definitely good to be like, I mean, I'm fairly strong, so it's definitely good to be really strong. But man, some of these people are too
mhm.
big for this stuff. Like,
Oh,
you can't have two people, which is usually on the ambulance. You can't have two people trying to lift someone that's 600 pounds.
Right. Like,
Depending on the person, yeah, depending on the person, two people can't even get someone that's 300 pounds. So,
Jesus.
yeah, so that's
like dead, like passed out, like forget about it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. You definitely got them people that's like that. And then again, the crazy part is sometimes you have these people and they'll be up a flight of steps. So it's like, what are we doing here? Why are you 600 pounds on the second floor of a house?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like I definitely have had conversations with people and be like, yo, you need to like have them move on the lower level
Right.
because if something happens, we ain't gonna be able to get him.
Right.
The
Real.
dude, yeah,
Lucky,
unfortunately.
tragic ass death. Like, nigga, I was too fat to be saved. Like, can you imagine that shit? Like, that comes with that in life. Like, you get dealt that card. Like, nigga, I was too fat to be saved. What the fuck?
Right. I mean, unfortunately, that does happen. That's why we
Like
tell people like, look, if you gonna be that big and taking care of someone, put them on the bottom floor and make it easily accessible because a lot of times those that the bariatric population are gonna have a lot of health problems. So you're gonna be at that house a lot. So it's what I want to say. It's just funny, but not really funny. It's funny thinking about it like right now, but when you're actually into it, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on here?
And
Like,
during COVID, were you like ever accused of like being, I don't know, like a minion of Fauci or something like that? Like, since you said you worked in Noonan of all places.
oh nah, never, nothing like that bad. Only thing I remember a dude. I think this dude had got like cut or something like that. He got like some type of bad cut. Took him to the hospital, and I was talking to him, and he was just like, "Hey, yo, man, what they gonna do about me?" And I was like, "Well, the first thing they probably gonna give you is a tetanus shot." I was like, "Do you remember the last time you had a tetanus shot?" And he was like, "Nah, I don't remember it." And I was like, "Yeah, they probably gonna get you a tetanus shot." And he was like, is that like a vaccine? Is that gonna like give me like autism or am I gonna get sick from it or something like that? And I was like, no, it's a tetanus shot. It's not a vaccine or anything like that. And vaccine ain't gonna give you autism anyways. So that's probably the worst thing.
It's crazy. Like, I remember looking into the whole like start of at least like the modern anti-vax movement. I think it was like some doctor over in England. But the thing was, like, even the original guy wasn't saying vaccines are bad. He was just saying there was like a dosage at the time he thought was dangerous, which it wasn't. Like, I think like babies was getting like 2 doses of a vaccine at once, like one in each arm. And he was like, "Oh no, you should wait like a couple of weeks and then come back for that second one." So even the original guy, though, like, yeah, he was still a conspiracy nut, but like the original dude wasn't saying, vaccines are harmful. He was just saying, like, so it's just funny how that turned into, vaccines are terrible, they're evil, and they'll give you like autism somehow, some way.
Yeah. I don't understand it either. I mean, the thing is that medicine is still a practice, but there are things that we do that that are like pretty much standard, and that is fortunately that is one of those things. Like what was it? I mean, something that's like relatively new is like the use of like antibiotics. Like that was like a huge breakthrough. I can't remember when they became like widespread use, but it wasn't too long ago, and that was just like a huge thing, and like it cut down on like a lot of infections, a lot of diseases and stuff like that. It's like if someone came out now with some like type of antibiotic rhetoric saying like, "Oh, my kid got lupus or something from taking antibiotics or something like that," which wouldn't be true. But that's the kind of thing. Since medicine is nothing is ever like 100%,
Right.
anyone could just make up anything they want about it. And unfortunately, with like the
People are
internet and
affected.
social media, yeah, and
Like,
with the internet and social,
still,
go ahead.
no, I'm just saying because I think someone said like we're still figuring out. 'Cause what was it like in the past? Like, what was it like white men were pretty much like the main bodies being studied. So it's
Oh
like so
yeah,
we're just finding out that oh shit, we got to study other races and other genders too. Like you know what I mean.
hmm
So we're still fully trying to figure out the human body and mind and shit like that. So
yeah.
it's like
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Okay, I was about to say yeah. We a lot of things because we're finding out now that I can't remember what it was. It was like a study or something that was recent that found out that like our dosages for medicines, like everyday medicines, may need to be tweaked a little bit because they were only really testing on like men
Hmm.
and men and women, and children and certain different populations of people. When I mean populations of people, I mean like age groups, like
Right.
adolescents. That so yeah, they experience medicine different. So we there are some things we need to evaluate, like when it comes to our adolescents and kids. There's all the meds we give on them is based on weight, but when
Hmm.
it comes to adults, mostly it's just like a generic kind of dose. It's not like uh it's not like based on weight. It's just like you're an adult male or adult female, you get this amount of medicine. So
So I mean,
so
like,
there.
will that just have to be a change made with like OTC medicines? Because I thought like if you go to your physician or whatever, like they'll actually perform a test on you, and then based on what your biometrics bring back, that's what they'll determine what to give you. Like, so is that what you're saying? Like they're just trying to tweak the OTC meds, or
Yeah, yeah, I'm
oh
talking about the
okay,
OTC meds. Yeah, not
okay,
like the stuff you can just buy. Just ibuprofen or
I
stuff
think
like
like
that.
well, so yeah, so like ibuprofen, like what's like the highest I guess amount of milligrams that's sold OTC? Because I've been prescribed 800 before, but like
Usually,
that's
yeah, usually they'll prescribe you 800. But I don't know. Typically, like OTC, they're like 250. You can probably find 500, but 250 is probably what you're gonna find.
and that
So.
might be too much for people.
Well, no, I don't think it's too much for people. It's probably too little. But ibuprofen, comes in a big old bottle and got a whole bunch in it. So, it's I'm
Shit, I
saying
think
that like a lot of because when you read like a bottle, it'll say, "Hey, for adults, take
mm-hmm.
such and
This,
such amount." Yeah, I'm saying that right there, they're saying that right there may need to be tweaked a little bit.
okay.
So that's what I was saying. I'm not quite
Like what's
sure about that, but
what's what's some of the misconceptions you've heard like medically? Like you know what I'm saying? Like that you just hear people like random everyday folks say that you just want to be like, well, actually, but you just you just leave
I
it
got you.
alone. Like what?
Well, one of the thing is that one of the biggest misconception is that if you're dying and you have an organ donor on your license, they're not gonna take care of you. That's not true. And unfortunately, as Black people, we need a lot of people's organs. So go get that
But
organ donor, put
11
on
bar.
your thing.
But
You said
but
what?
brother, but brother,
Mhm.
the fact that us black people who do have that donor tag on our license, brother, that means they're not gonna try as hard, brother, to
Nah.
save us. So that means they're going to harvest our organs, brother, because they want to consume our pineal glands. You understand? Like, what do you say to someone like that? Like, what?
Oh, to someone like that, I just say no, that's not gonna happen. Like, just straight up, because you got a lot of times you can't like sugarcoat stuff or try to uh make it sound nice. You just got to be like, no, that's not, going to happen, or this is how it's going to be, and stuff like that. And if you don't know, you don't know. You say you don't know. But when you do know, you got to say yes or no, because you don't want to give people any like doubt or anything. So typically,
and
I just say no.
also too, like organs are probably put through like a test, right? Sure, you may have just died, but you were probably like a heavy drinker. Who will want your liver? You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah. So one of the things we also do is okay. So they'll have, because I've done a lot of them recently, but we'll transport people from like a
mm-hmm.
hospital to an organ donor site. So it's
Okay.
like people. So like the last one I did was pretty sad, and was the dude basically was a hero. Because
Mm.
unfortunately, I don't know the details, and I wouldn't say it anyways. But basically, he was a fairly young dude. Was decently healthy. Something happened to him, and he was basically brain dead.
Mm.
So basically, what they do is they keep the organs alive, because every hospital can't harvest organs. So they keep him alive basically until he can get to a place where they can get all his good organs. And this was it was a hospital that was far away. Not far away as in like maybe an hour, 2 hours from Atlanta. Not like Miami far away like that.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, basically he was on a ventilator, he was on a lot of meds, he was on a lot of a lot of different machines and stuff like that to monitor him, to keep him alive till he gets to a certain place. And it was because they had exhausted all options that could happen. His family knew it. His family was there. And then, like as we're taking him out the hospital, all the staff in the hospital, well, not all of them, but everywhere we went, there were like people lined up, just like, honoring this dude.
Mm.
Because, if you ain't gonna,
Like who was
what
like was this organs like harvested for different things, or was there like a certain patient that they
well,
saved?
we don't know, but we don't know as far as like EMS. We don't know the specifics on that. We just know that they took a lot. They got a lot from him,
Mm.
basically. So that's why he was looked at as like a noble dude in his death. Because whatever beliefs you have or whatever, you're not taking your organs with you.
Right.
Whether you're going heaven, hell, achieve
Sorry,
nirvana,
fellas.
whatever.
You're not taking that shit with you.
Yeah, you're not taking it. Whatever your belief or lack of belief is, you ain't taking the organs with you. So we need them for people, out here that born with debilitating diseases and stuff like that, so that they can have
Better place
another
than how you,
chance at life. Hmm?
no, then plus you're leaving the world a better place than how you left it.
Right. Yeah, and that's, ultimately, in my opinion, that's what the human experience should be: is that you want to leave the place a better world than when you were born in it. So.
This is gonna sound like a very like Hitlerite take, which
Hmm.
I wouldn't seriously do this suggestion, but let's just say you're a prisoner of the state. You were you were obviously a pretty bad dude. You know what I'm saying? Like murdered
Hmm.
a family of six. You know what I mean? Like you even killed a puppy once. You're just all around that. You have some healthy organs. We're gonna divvy it
Hmm.
up, but obviously, people got a right to their organs even after death.
Right.
But But my thing is, I don't know. I mean, we should, but I mean, I know that'll
Yeah.
start like a slippery slope into like eugenics, like So
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, that's the thing right there. That's a whole nother thing about like ethics and medical rights and stuff like that. Because while that prisoner was a shitty person, he still has rights. You know, but thankfully, I mean, it's not the best, but we got a penal system for people like that want to be like bad people in society.
and
Sometimes it works.
and I want to say too, like another thing I want to mention is you know, like stuff like the medical field, like we really put our trust in you all, right?
Hmm.
Or if you want to make it sound grand, faith. We put our faith in y'all, basically.
Hmm.
That's funny coming from an atheist, but anyway. But but the thing is, like, you're other humans, and no matter how much medical training you got, as a human being, you're not safe. Well, you're not immune to like bias and like prejudice and stuff like that. So tell the audience how important it is to get the Dow before getting this job. Like, if you have any sort of biases, any sort of like bigotries, like you got to flush it at least for the 24 hours you're gonna be doing this.
Right. Well,
Like,
yeah. Well, that's.
do you ever have coworkers who are kind of concerned, like, okay, I'm sure they're probably just gonna go through the motions taking care of a black person? Like, you ever look at some of your fellow EMTs like that?
Fortunately, I haven't run into anybody like that. We do have people that can be like low key really racist. I mean, I worked with a guy that was like a hardcore Trumper. Every time I come in, he's singing like Trump's praises or talking about immigrants or something like that. And me, I'm just basically I'm just trying to get throughout the workday and stuff like that. So I'm not engaging with someone talking about that because I'm not about to sit there and argue with someone about that. So, but
this is my little brother below us, by the way.
Oh, y'all can see me? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I definitely couldn't see y'all until like y'all just started talking and now everything came up. My bad. Sorry I'm late, everybody. I got caught in some traffic on the way back, and I'm not happy.
I had to go to the office.
It's whatever.
But no, like, but that would scare me though, Marvis, because like, but I think we both watched that one hearing. I think it was like in where did that take place? Anyway, it was like a hearing of like this EMT who had like a white supremacist podcast. And this nigga was talking crazy. He was like, gosh, I probably can't get my syringe through their dendu veins. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this man off the chain.
No.
And like like the little judge dude or whatever, he had to like read everything he was saying, and he was like, do you think this is funny? Do you think talking about your black patients is funny? And this is an older white man. All right, even he knew that he was going too far. Like, and the dude was like, "Yeah, I think it was funny." Like, that was like that was back like during like the beginning of the whole anti-SJW shit. Because,
right.
Niggas was
I
like,
just want to say,
him, but I'm like, oh.
Racism is so insane, right? Because never in my life would I would have pictured hearing a sentence like that. That is crazy.
Yeah. See, like we have people that there are people like that work in the field. The thing is that it doesn't carry over into their like work.
Yeah.
So like outside of work, hell yeah, they're gonna be racist. They're gonna be racist as fuck, and gonna do all this crazy stuff. Like I was saying, the dude I work with was like he didn't say nothing to me, but I'm pretty sure that dude was racist as fuck. So outside of his outside of it, but he wouldn't treat nobody any different or anything like that. most people won't treat their patients different. But after it, they're gonna be saying a bunch of crazy shit about them. They're gonna be like, N-word this. I can't believe we have to help this N-word do this and then do this. And he was sitting there screaming and all that. And I was like, yeah, man, just don't be in the hood and stuff like that. Like, yeah, they're gonna be people like that. But just like it is with.
Well, yeah, I found another shooting victim. Jesus Christ. It's like the trash is taking itself out. Am I right? Like, you know what I mean?
Like exactly, like that. Like, of course, like, they wouldn't say nothing like that with me. But, when they're around, their people, like, like, hey, this is my people right here. They're going to say stuff like that. Yeah. But as far as care, nah, not really, because they know that if anything happens like that, they're gonna get canned and their license is gonna get taken. So that's
else then after that.
Yeah, they won't be able to work for anyone else. It's just all like a self-preservation.
Would that fall them to another state? Like if they tried to move and get like
yeah,
well, you have to be licensed again though, right? Anyway.
Yeah, so we have a national registry that we're licensed under, and we have a state license. So basically, you get nationally registered. It's just all a money thing. You have to pay for national registry, and then you have to pay for a state license. So I have a state license in Georgia. If I was to go work in, say, like Alabama, I had to go pay for an Alabama license.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it really is because we have a national protocol of like skills and stuff we can do, but each state is different. So there are other states that have more added onto it, and there are other states that have less added onto it. So it's more like it's a money issue, but most everybody knows how to do everything.
Okay, yeah, because at my job we call it cross training. Like they just train you in different divisions just so you can get like you're gonna specialize wherever you're at currently, but
right.
You have a general knowledge of everyone else too.
Yeah. Basically, it's basically like that. Where like how to do everything, but certain states may not do this type of thing or may not have these type of protocols. So
like another thing too, like I said, just like your bias. Well, trying to keep your bias like out of your work, like because obviously as a medical professional, you took an oath to help people no matter what. So I don't know, but I feel though it's like like I said, you probably like giving compressions to somebody, but you're looking around and you see Klan outfits and SS logos and all that stuff. You're gonna be like, what? If I just not press her as hard, I mean they can see I'm trying, but this. I think the world will be like, like what stops you from like giving in to that like, intrusive thought, like,
Well, yeah, what stops is that you don't want to lose your job type of thing. And then there's you don't want to lose your job, and then there are things that you can do within your like scope, that what I want to say, that maybe aren't ideal for the situation type of thing. Maybe not, because it's a lot of stuff we can do. So there's just like, I don't know, it's just some people you have a lot of patience with. You have like a minimum care that you give to everybody, which is going to be on the high end of it anyways. But then there are people that okay, so a good example is that for the people that work in like the helicopters, to get rid of their biases, because usually when someone needs like to be transported by air, it's a serious issue. So to prevent them from having biases, they never tell them patient information. Like they don't tell them what age it is, because your bias more likely is going to be like, if it's like a kid, like a 3-year-old, you're going to be more likely to go get in a helicopter to run that, even if it's like stormy and rainy and the conditions aren't ideal. Versus someone that's like 80 years old, you're just gonna be like, whatever. But then again, in that situation, right, that you described, like, I mean, honestly, man, giving compressions is a pretty difficult thing to do. So, it's pretty difficult. You always want to get someone on there that can handle it, because sometimes people just kind of go through the motions and stuff like that. And you want to get like the stronger. You want to get the firemen to be on compressions or something like that, because they're going to be the stronger, more in shape type of thing. And
yeah. So how closely do y'all work with the firemen? Because I know that firemen have to take, like part of their training is like they got to know how to do like EMT paramedic stuff as well. So like do you work with firemen often?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Very, very closely. We're very well connected. Matter of fact, there are a lot of places where the EMS is handled through fire.
Okay.
So we're a private company now.
Yeah, that's like one thing about y'all's profession I did know is that there were a lot run by fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think ours here in my hometown, I think, is run by fire too.
Yep, there is like a lot of they have like a lot of county services are run through the fire department.
Speaking of which, B, I think it was in your hometown, B. Like it was supposed to be like the first black EMTs or something like that, or I think it was like a group of black people like created the EMTs, low key.
Yeah, that was the over there.
Oh, like historically?
Yeah.
Yeah, like because I ain't heard nothing recent. You talking about something recent?
No, this was like a while ago. Like I think I want to say back in the 60s or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that I do know about. I thought you were saying there was like some place here that still hadn't like desegregated.
Yeah,
I was like yeah. Okay,
so
but
I had to get my "We was Kings" quote out the way. Like, yes, we invented EMT, niggas.
Yeah, it was
I'm
some place up there. It was like a group of folks that basically invented EMS. It was something I ain't learned about that till like last year, and that was really cool learning about. It was just a group of black people that basically invented modern EMS.
Right. Well, the unfortunate thing is, much like you, I didn't learn until I got older either. Like I actually live here in Pennsylvania, and they don't, really teach us a lot of stuff like that. Because when it comes to Black History Month, you get Malcolm Martin bust, and then over.
Right. Hold on, dude. We got to start at slavery first, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's right. You go to slavery, you jump all the way to Malcolm Martin and Rosa Parks, and then we all shook hands.
Jackie Robinson, they throw in Jackie Robinson if we're lucky.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and then magically racism was over, and we got a black president. That's how.
Yep.
Then they talk about apartheid too. Like you see how bad the African white men are doing it.
I wish they would have talked about apartheid. I didn't know.
I'm about to say I didn't get apartheid.
I was about to say I didn't find out about apartheid until I want to say like the 7th grade, and I'd watched that movie. What was it? It was like Matt Damon and Morgan Freeman. Invictus, yeah. I was like, wait a minute, what's that? Like, what are they talking about? Because I remember watching that old Disney Channel movie they used to have, and I was always confused about what was going on with like the it's called The Color of Money. It was an old like Disney Channel original movie, and I was always confused.
I think I remember that.
And then I found out officially about apartheid from Invictus because I was like, what? They had it over there too? I thought it was just us.
I was one of those dorks who are like, because like your social studies book had like hella chapters, but like obviously we didn't cover all of them. But I was like one of those dorks who would like read like some of them, and like the way they would talk about apartheid in our like American textbooks would be like, well, hey, I mean, look how bad they did it. Aren't you glad we weren't as bad as those savages over in Africa? Anyway, their racism was worse. So let's talk about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you get to the 90s, like that's pretty much how they like explain it.
That's
like,
crazy.
Okay,
our books, our books had bad chapters that we skipped over too. But I swear, like it wasn't until I got like older, I want to say at the very least 8th grade, if not the 9th grade, that we started talking about apartheid in South Africa. Now I found out
Mm,
earlier before that, like I said, when I watched Invictus, but yeah, I wasn't exactly surprised when there was a bunch of kids in my classes who didn't know what that was. Like because they just straight
yeah,
up didn't teach that.
and there was this Marvis. I think you would like this show too. It was like this show that was on Cinemax. I think it got canceled before it could truly end, but it was called The
Okay.
Nick. But
The
it was like a
Nick.
medical show, but it was based in the 1910s. So like,
19.
there's a lot
Wow.
of things that they'll do medically that you'll be like, "What the fuck you doing?" But you got to remember, oh shit, it's in the 1910s. So like,
Right.
you had to let it rock.
Oh
But
yeah, I mean, one of
uh,
my, when it came to history, I was never really a big medical historian, but one of my favorite things I learned was like during the Civil War, especially during the Civil War, if you got shot or got any sort of grave injury,
yeah, you
their big idea was to bleed you out, and hopefully the the infection would come out after they done bleeded you out. But then they was always surprised when people would end up dead. And, and I was just like, well, it could have been because you pumped all the blood out the body. That might have been step one of how
would.
they died.
Yeah, man, human
Yeah.
medicine is like trial and error for real, for real.
It is like it's a practice, man. And back then, hell, there's who was the dude? I think it was Benjamin Franklin. He actually died because of something like that. They had this practice called bloodletting, which
yeah.
is it's an ancient it's
Is
like
it
an
like the
Eastern
secret?
medicine type of practice. And basically they just poke a bunch of holes in you to let you bleed because they say the blood is going to get rid of all the impurities.
Yeah.
And yeah, that don't work.
No,
So
that's pretty much what I was talking about. Yeah, but
yeah.
Oh,
especially during the Civil War, that and they would just pump you full of grain liquor too. Like
mm.
Hmm.
Oh,
they'd
they'll
be
just straight
like,
up amputate. Like they don't even
oh yeah, the
like
amputations
make
with
you
rusty
like
tools,
bite
all
a
that
block
type of stuff.
of like bite that block of wood and be like
Yeah, or
Hmm.
the fact that they would just hop from person to person with the same saw that they just cut off somebody else's
right.
leg and be like,
Well, yeah.
"Here you
Man,
go."
that shit was
And the crazy
crazy.
part is like there were societies that already knew to wash hands.
Yeah,
So like I don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck they were doing.
the
Yeah,
Like
whites.
it was.
It was the whites.
the
Blame the
Yeah.
white.
whites.
There was a bunch of like Asian civilizations that like knew that like, hey, you need to wash your hands before
Uh-huh.
you eat and do all kinds of stuff. And then over here, we was just like, whatever. This dude bleeding out. I'm not wearing gloves. I'm not washing my hands. Whatever. Just gonna get
Yeah,
blood on me. Go to the next person. Now just blood just
I mean,
everywhere.
like
You got
like we had someone who like literally like the state had to arrest her. Just like what's her name, Ty Floyd Mary. Like she insisted
yeah.
on being
oh
out.
yeah,
Hmm.
Like the state had to come get like why does the state have to tell you to
right,
stay away from folk? But she was
Right.
asymptomatic, I believe, so that's why she ain't like.
right.
But oh my gosh,
Yeah, man.
yeah, Marvin, that show would stress you out, but it's a good show though.
Nah, I would probably enjoy it because I actually like maybe like a month ago I was just browsing on YouTube. I was watching it's this dude that like documents like all of like American history. I can't think of the name of his channel, but it's a dude named David Hoffman. He
David,
documents a lot of like he
are you
documents a
familiar
lot
with
of like
him?
American history. Hmm?
But I was asking B if he was familiar.
I think I see one or two of his videos in the past, but I don't. I'm not. I wouldn't exactly call myself a fan because I'm not really like familiar with his work.
Yeah, but I was watching one, and I think it was like a New York hospital in the 70s. And just looking at that was so interesting. One
Yeah.
of the most interesting things they had about it was the charge nurse in the ER was like, we have 10 patient beds, and at any given time, we should be able to treat 10 critical patients.
Mm.
And that blew my mind because let me tell you, 10 critical patients pull up to one of these hospitals, they're gonna be like, it's gonna be like hell is gonna break loose. So
Wow.
and that was just crazy how she said, specifically that. And I was telling my partner at the time, partner on the ambulance at the time, that what had heard about that, and she just looked at me and laughed. She was like, I wish 10 critical patients would pop up at one of these like hospitals that's out in like none of these non-major hospitals. They can barely handle one critical patient, and 10 come up at one.
We learned that the hard way during COVID, bro. We was getting our hospital was getting shut down. Like,
we was getting slapped.
Our loved ones.
Right. Yeah, we was getting slapped. My mom was working in a hospital during then. She was she ended up working a lot because she made a lot of money. They were giving out tons of bonuses.
Yeah.
I bet she was working overtime with COVID.
Yeah, she was working a lot overtime, and she don't even like working. She was working a lot of overtime, and like she was talking about how like slam packed the hospital is, and we was bringing them up there. Well, not specifically her hospital, but we was bringing them to the hospitals, and it was slam packed, man. It was a lot of the patients there and then were like from the nursing homes and stuff like that. So
that was getting it, like
and those are the people that were getting like really sick and stuff like that. Because I remember, I think probably at like the peak of it, I mean, we was up to this one nursing home like 3-4 times a day with someone that had COVID. So that was it was just it's like, oh man, here we go again. We got to put on the face shield, the mask, the gown, and I got to be hot and sweaty for a couple minutes again. So, but yeah, man, that was just like the wild. What's up?
But like, what was it like just being in the field, like, like not only having to deal with regular shit you had to deal with, but also, you're combating a disease that we're learning about in real time. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what other effects you could be having. Like, you probably thinking like, bro, what if one of those particles like somehow did like a loop under my mask and got into my nose, and I'm gonna be over here just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like what? Like, that had to have been like some scary shit because, I worked downtown.
Yeah.
That's the highest population of, patients. And that was death. So I know you had to be like, a little rattled because you got to touch them. You got to be close to them because you got to put them on the dang stretcher. So,
yeah, I mean, to be honest, it wasn't too bad at first. It was like really scary. And then like, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm not the right person to ask because we did have a lot of people that were like stressing out about it. But man, I'm following the towel. I'm saying whatever happens, happens. If it's my time, it's my time, type of thing like that. And I was thinking like, if I do get sick, I got sick helping other people. So, it's whatever. So, I mean, it wasn't me. We did have a lot of people that were like really, really stressed. And I was just trying to like tell people like, just chill, man. Like it's gonna be all right. We work in the field, we're helping people, and if we do get sick, we know the hospitals to go to, we know the doctors, we know that, and then just try to like like ease people's worries. At least I do, because everyone at my station knows me as being like the cool, calm, collected dude, like that. Like one of my coworkers, she had walked up to me and she was like, yeah, man, Marvis is the person you want to be when like shit hits be with you when shit hits the fan. And I was like, yeah, because I mean, just calm, try to keep everything under control. Doesn't mean you don't have any stress or anything like that, but just okay, so like at the time, my partner on the M's at the time, she was a worry ward. So every time we had one, she was like, "Oh my god, yeah, I'm gonna get sick. And do you think I have COVID? I coughed once and I sneezed And she was like, "Do you think I have COVID? We just had a COVID patient. Do you think I have COVID?" And I was like, "No, I don't think you do. And
Right.
if you do, just go to the hospital." And she was like, "Oh, do you think I need to go take a test?" And I was like, "Go take a test."
Well, did y'all have to be tested a lot since y'all was, working that field? Like,
Nah, we didn't, unless you wanted to. Like,
Wow.
yeah, it wasn't like a.
I thought since
I
y'all
don't
worked
know.
4s, I thought they had to turn in a test like every shift or something.
Nah, man, that would cost entirely too much money to be doing that. Like, I can't imagine them shelling out that many tests. Because a lot of times, I mean, it wouldn't. If you're sick, well, this is just a general rule for not just for medicine, just for anybody. If you're sick, don't come into work.
Yeah.
That's just basically it. So, like, if you're not feeling bad about it,
Right.
about something, then you should be fine. But if you feel sick, stay home.
Right.
And we had a lot of people that did that, including my partner at the time a couple times where she was like, "I feel sick and I'm not gonna come in today." And I was just like, "Okay, get better."
Now was it? I remember this was like a big issue around that time. The lack of the PPE for like healthcare workers and stuff. Like, did that affect y'all too?
It did. First of all, EMS, we don't have a lot of PPE and supplies. Depending on the department you work on, you're gonna be like, you're not gonna be getting all the stuff you need, at times. So yes, we had an issue for like at the very beginning, but then when it started getting really serious, we got like a bunch of like supplies and stuff like that. Like, I remember, I'm not sure how effective this was, but when it first happened, we were putting our N95s in like this, I guess this type of like machine or whatever that was supposed to purify it. I don't know how good that was, but they were like, "Here, you got 2 N95s. Whenever you have a COVID patient, put it in this machine for 30 minutes and use it again." I'm not sure how safe that was.
That was microwaving N95.
I mean, basically, and the thing did look like a microwave. So, but after that, after like the initial, like we were like, "Oh shit, this is serious." We started getting a bunch of materials, and we still got a lot of that stuff left over. Like, we still got a ton of N95s. We don't use them no more, but we still got a ton of them and ton of masks. And we had one thing that was funny was that to circumvent like the supply issue, we had like these things that looked like bicycle helmets that had like a face shield on it, and they were letting us use that, and they were telling us to sanitize it afterwards. I think that probably was a good thing. I'm not sure how effective it was, but it probably was a good thing because everything else we sanitized anyway. So, and it was like what I want to say, what's the material? It's like really hard plastic. I forgot what that's called. It's not yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like it's just really hard, thick plastic. Pause. But yeah. So that probably, was able to circumvent a lot of issues that we had with supplies. But depending on where you work for, you're not gonna have a lot of supplies. A lot of private services are all about money. So any way they can save save like $1, a penny, they're gonna do it. Whereas county services are funded by the county, so they can pour more money into that because it's government funded. So, but yeah.
Now, I was going to ask you earlier when you was talking about what Ted that I brought up watching that show. So like because of your job and because you've been doing it for as long as you have, do you find it like? Do you even attempt to watch those like medical shows and stuff? Like, I know a lot of them don't really deal with EMS, but like, do you even like make attempts to watch those shows, or is it too like just ridiculous to you?
Honestly, it's ridiculous. So I don't watch them. Some people do watch them and they find them entertaining because they handle the more entertaining aspect of it.
Right.
But every time I usually watch them shows, I usually be like, "That's not how it works. Why are they doing that? I'm turning this off. This is BS," or stuff like
Man.
that. But
So you'll watch the 911 show and be like, "What the fuck is this bullshit here?"
yeah, it depends on one because I heard some of them are pretty accurate. I think it was like the 911 in like New Orleans or something like that. That was like pretty good, something like that. I think that's the one. But one thing that is really funny and is kind of accurate. Well, it's not that accurate, but I can't say because it was in the 80s and 70s. It's a movie with like Bill Cosby back in the day where he was like on an ambulance.
I'm trying to think. I think I know which one you're talking about too. I swear I think I've seen this before.
Who
gave Bill the medical drugs?
Hey, they might as well because that movie was nuts, man. They were like They were smoking on the ambulance, and they were drinking. I remember it's.
Like cigs.
You know what's crazy with Bill Cosby? My bad, Marcus. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's crazy with Bill Cosby is like, you know, like with our generation and stuff, we know him as like the super clean comedian, like family man dude. Whereas like when you watch some of his older 70s movies,
he was like a normal person.
Yeah, he was a normal person. Like, he was like
he was trying to fuck some hoes,
like he was. He used to play like some grimy characters, and I'd be like, it's weird. Granted, I mean, I guess that might come with old age, but it's like, it is. It's just weird that's like that he went so far towards the other end of the spectrum with his.
Material. Like, dude, you know how surprised I was to see him in a fight scene? I was like, get out, bro.
Yeah, right. Like,
fighting folks.
You talking about I Spy?
Probably.
I had no idea he even.
But that's some 70s joints where he was like punching people out.
Yeah, especially like some of the more like I think he did 3 movies with Sidney Poitier. Like, honestly, I don't think they was a series because I think they was all different characters in each one.
Yeah, I think they were.
But I think I seen one of them back in the day, but I was younger, so don't quote me on this movie. But I remember like his character was like kind of wild in that movie, and I was like, that's crazy. Like, I don't know, it's weird like how certain like actors or comedians will choose to do their career because it's like he became the old like weird funny nutty no cursing dude, and I just be like, that's such a weird angle to go to considering the characters you used to play. Like, you used to play like some wild people, like.
But you know, I guess he wouldn't have been able to play. I guess he wouldn't have been able to write, coming with the Junkyard Kids and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, through those experiences with like filming, and he probably had those experiences himself growing up. Like,
right.
So, but now we know him as an offender.
Yeah, I was about to say, a terrible person.
Allegedly.
And someone who would say that someone deserves to get shot over a piece of pound cake.
Wait, what?
You never listened to the pound cake speech?
Yeah, that one's
Is that like
the whole pull your pants up and blah blah blah?
Was that the one he did during the LA riots?
Possibly, because he was like, that nigga said like, y'all worried about John getting shot, but I didn't realize he stole a pound. He stole a piece of pound cake. And I'm just like, why did he have to die over it?
Because the only thing I know for sure that he definitely did was like, was that LA riots thing? It was during the LA riots, and he would. I think they had done an interview with him, and he was like really ticked off at the rioters, and he was like talking about how embarrassing it was. But I guess in his defense, they said that his son had literally like just died a month before, so they said he was kind of on the fence. He was kind of like off his game anyway. So I don't know if that. I know a lot of people call him a coon, but I don't know if I'd put the coon status on him for that because like he could have just.
I mean, definitely for the pound cake thing, but I have to look up.
Definitely the pound cake thing. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if the pound cake. Like, again, I wasn't like. I didn't have consciousness back then, so so I don't know if the pound cake thing was part of that or not. But it could have definitely been. I don't know. That the only reason I heard about that was because I watched a documentary on the LA riots. Like I think like was it like the History Channel had did like one. It had a bunch of rappers and stuff in it, and like yeah, they said that like a lot of people was ticked off with Bill Cosby for years after that because they said like some news channel had put him on and he was just on there for a long time just cooking about like how much he hated what was happening with the LA riots and stuff.
I actually didn't know that.
Which is crazy. Don't get me wrong, I get he was like America's black man, but I still think that's kind of crazy that like while the riots was going on, somebody was like, somebody call Bill.
I mean, like, you know, it's crazy. Like, Orenthal Simpson used to be America's black man too before the whole, you know,
right
alleged.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't like the way that beat the Rodney King. It's so stupid that we always do that for Bill Cosby because he really don't sound like that.
Like he don't.
Nah, he don't.
I think we just saw a couple of episodes where he did that, and that was it. Like,
bruh, I want to know who the first person who did that for him was because that stuck. That impression stuck forever. Like,
yeah,
and he really don't sound. He really don't sound like that.
But you know
I watched every episode of the Cosby Show growing up, and I used to be so confused when people would do the fake Bill Cosby voice because I'd be like, "What episode do you do that on?" Because
I honestly don't know because he really didn't sound like that at all. He sounded like a normal.
I kept waiting for him to do it, and he wasn't doing it, and I'm just like, "Is this a stand-up thing?" And he don't do it at stand-up either. Like, I just want to know, man. It had to be one comedian who never got his shine. Who did that impression and everybody stole it. And it's just Bill Cosby now.
I was gonna say too, like the sad part is like Bill Cosby stand-ups was like actually pretty great.
Bruh,
like,
that Noah's Ark. You ever heard the Noah's Ark one?
If I did, it's been too long since I heard it.
It was called I think the title of the track is called What? And I remember because they played it to us in Catholic school, which I was surprised by because I didn't know because I went to majority white Catholic schools and I was surprised they do black entertainment.
Oh well, I mean, they'll make room for Bill Cosby.
Yeah, for him, yeah.
But yeah, they played it like my teacher at the time. She had the original vinyl, like the original Bill Cosby vinyl, like, and she played the track for us. And I guess like he was talking. I guess it's called What because like every time God would come up to Noah's house, he'd be like, "What?" He said, "Hey Noah, I'm sending the flood." Why? No, bro. That I remember. I used to listen to that joint over and over. I found it on YouTube after I heard it in class, and I just kept listening to it. It's so funny. Like I said, the Cosby Show too. I'll still watch the Cosby Show. Granted, like they pulled it off the air again because they're whack. Like, but it's weird because it's like it can't be a thing about we're against Bill Cosby because A Different World is currently on 3 separate streaming apps. So like just give it back. Dang. I'm sick of it. Every once in a while, I'll feel nostalgic for the show.
Okay.
I was
gonna say, just have the royalties go to his victims or something.
Bruh. That works right there. That's a good idea.
Like, because the way that they did the contracts, like he looked out for the cast, so everybody gets like almost equal residuals off of that show. So I'd be pretty mad if I was a cast member on the show and I'm like, "Oh, we can't play it no more." I'm like, "Where's my Cosby money, dog?" Like you better, like I was relying on that money. You better put it in my hand, son. Like that's crazy. Like where's it at? Like I'd be at CBS tomorrow ready to fight. Like there's no way you're not giving me my money.
You'll be like Ice Cube with your bat. Like what the fuck?
I'm coming in on full Cosby sweaters too. I'm coming in on full Cosby sweater.
Right. Coming looking like a warrior gang. Like all your set gonna be wearing Cosby sweaters.
I would be doing the fake Cosby voice too. Give me my money.
Man.
Bro, I'd be ticked off, especially like, I mean, what was it? The dude who played Theo, he cool because he's on like every ABC show known to man. Like he
Right.
stay popping up on shows,
Mhm.
so he cool. Same with what's her name? The one who's married to Jason Momoa. But the rest of them, like,
What's her name? Yeah.
I know little Vanessa needs some money. Give me my money.
Right.
You know, I
Right.
know Vanessa
I mean,
tick
Raven's
tock.
cool, but she can use it probably. Like,
Who?
Yeah, she probably
I'm not
everyone could
Raven.
probably use that.
Oh, Raven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she can probably still use that though.
I think she said she still hasn't touched her Bill Cosby money.
Oh damn, she don't even
Wow.
get touched.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, she said so. I think this was like 2 years ago. She like did some interview and she was like, "Yeah, like my bill, like she said, I made so much, I still haven't even touched my Bill Cosby money.
Mm.
That's crazy.
Shit. About to say
That's
shit.
like that.
Okay, let me hold some.
Yeah, I'm about to
Right.
say, well,
Basically,
give me
yeah.
the Bill Cosby money.
Damn.
Right.
It's
Like,
you don't even gotta give me the whole joint. Give me season 5 Bill Cosby money. All right,
Right,
I'll
just
take
one
this season.
yeah,
season.
right.
Just
Just
give
one
me
Right.
season.
season 5. Let me hold
Right. That's
some.
it.
Listen, at least give me the
Like
Christmas
the season
episode.
where you
Give
was
me the
like in the
Christmas
most of the
episode.
time.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, when them episodes when they was doing the lip syncing, I know you made a bunch of money off that episode. Give me that.
hmm
Let me hold that. Like that's crazy. No, that's wild. Like, and she, I don't even think she was even on that show that long, and she still hasn't touched that money. That's
Damn.
wild. And again, if she ain't touched her Bill Cosby money yet, imagine some of the other kids who was on there since the first episode, and you gonna talk
hmm
about that you ain't releasing the show no more. You gotta. I think the only way you can get it on Amazon is you gotta pay for it. It's like, bruh,
No.
like they used to, before like the big scandal came out. I remember it was on not BET. What was the other black channel? TV1.
TV1.
Yeah,
Oh
they used
yeah.
to play it every day, bro. I remember
They
I
did.
come home
Yeah, I
from
remember
school and
that.
it was on. Like, and you imagine all your residuals checks just kept coming in the mail. And now because Bill was out here tripping, you don't get no money no more. That's foul.
Right.
I'm telling you, I'm fighting everybody at Paramount. I'm
That's it.
like,
Yeah.
I'm coming out swinging. There's no way you doing me like that. Like, not bro. Bruh, the light
Yeah.
skinned daughter, the oldest daughter, not Lisa Bonet, the other one. I
Yeah.
know she needs some money.
hmm
Hell, they had
That's
my
a
boy working at Trader Joe's. They caught him on
Oh
camera.
man.
damn.
Well, you know, at
So
least Trader
Damn.
Joe's is a good store though. I mean, he's probably getting some
no,
Trader
bread.
Joe's.
no,
I
I
do
mean
like
he
Trader
got
Joe's.
work now because everybody felt bad. But like at the time, there's a reason he was working at Trader Joe's. He
Right,
probably didn't have
yeah.
to work at Trader Joe's before y'all took his check.
Yeah.
They was tripping. Give my boy
There
back his
was.
money.
Right. I think at that time it was coming on. I remember watching on like Nick too, like Nick at Night. We used
Nick and
Oh,
Knight,
to
you're
show
yeah.
all
you're
those stuff.
definitely right.
Yeah.
It would be on
Yeah.
like right
He'll be
before
on
like
Noggin
George
too,
Lopez.
like
Yeah, like it was on a lot of different stations and they just took it away and it's that's
all
yeah.
my friends.
Bro, can you imagine if they did that to a different world, bro?
Man.
Oh, off the air.
Bro, if they did that to
Excuse me, I need my check.
whose voice is that?
Whitley, that's what we.
What's her name?
I
Jasmine
don't know
Guy.
if she actually talks like that, but still, it's like
No, yes, no, actually, no, yeah, I don't know if she really talked like that either.
because she was on Harlem Nights, and I was like, oh, she don't sound like Whitley. Like,
bro,
Everybody.
why do I always forget she was in Harlem Nights? She definitely was in Harlem Nights. You right. She
mhm.
was the only other things outside of Different World I know her for is that movie and what's the other joint? The Spike Lee, you know, School Days. But
Oh, okay.
she had like negative one line in that movie. Like
Oh,
she
okay.
said,
Damn.
yeah, she was one of like Gina from Martin. She was like
Mhm.
one of her little
Mhm.
henchmen in the light skinned like uppity girl gang, like the sorority. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she had like negative
Mhm.
one line in that whole movie. Like I think she said
Yeah.
hi, and that was it. Like,
Oh wow.
there was bad people from a different world in that movie. It was her. Dudu played Dwayne was in there because he was like one of Lawrence Fishburne's homeboys. He was like part of that crew, and then Dudu played Ron. like the light skinned dude,
Mhm.
who was like Dwayne's friend. He was part of
Yeah.
like the evil frat boys and stuff. So like, yeah, that's why Spike Lee tried to accuse Bill Cosby of stealing the idea, because I think School Days came out before A Different World. And listen, I love Spike Lee to death.
I was
Spike
gonna
Lee
say,
was
do they have like a dark skin versus light skin dynamic on
nah,
Different World?
well, I think that came up in like one episode or so, but like Spike Lee's tripping, bro. No, Bill Cosby did not steal A Different World from you, my G. Like, you tripping. You was
Yeah.
the listen. There was a lot of credible people who had stuff to say about Bill Cosby. Spike Lee was tripping. He tried to sneak one in, and I'm like, Spike, go ahead and sit this conversation out, because you know you was
Right.
tripping. You shouldn't have tried to do that. Trying to say, oh yeah, Andy stole A Different World from me. Shout out. But
So, so Marvis, like with you being an EMT and stuff, do you play online games? And if so, are you like the healer usually?
Actually, that's funny because in most of the games I play, I do play like healer support category. So
See, like
it's it's
even in the virtual world, you gotta be like a helper. Like,
right. But I say yeah, it's either that or like tanks. And I don't know, man. It's just I've always gravitated towards like classes like that because well, one of the things is that I'm a I'm a big Dragon Quest fan, so I play a lot of Dragon Quest games.
ooh,
And
yeah.
typically the
that's
main
the
character,
game.
you said what?
Is that the Akira Toriyama game?
Yes, it's the game where all the characters are like they from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And typically a lot of the main characters there are like support. Like it's kind of
Like the lady that
different.
they be calling, like I think it's a lady. Like she kind of look like Chi Chi. She kind of have. I think she has like a red shirt.
I don't know,
Like
man. That's a lot. That describes a
yellow.
lot of people
I
though.
was about to say, like, if you ever see Dragon Quest, like 90% of those character designs are straight from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, but I say
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
like there's
You
a
got
lot of
one
people that look like Chi Chi.
Yeah.
So
like even main characters. Like I thought she was one of the main characters.
yeah, most of the main characters are just like support or like a master what jack of all trades, master of none character. So I grew up
Okay.
playing a lot of those, and I guess that had like a big influence on me. So that's why I like, man, if my character can't heal, why am I playing them?
Yeah.
That type of thing. So that's why I go with like tanks and support characters because tanks usually have some way of like either healing or
Yeah.
mitigating damage,
So,
and then of course supports always heal. So
did you play what's that joint? Team Fortress 2?
I actually didn't play a lot of Team Fortress 2. I played a little bit of it, but
Yeah.
not like a bunch of it.
I was about to ask, did you play the Doctor on the here too? Because he was kind of like that. The Doctor class on there, I remember, was kind of weird. Like, because because you could low key like, I think, hijack people and take them over, like bring them back from the dead and stuff. Like, yeah.
Yep.
I didn't play a whole lot of that game. I only played a little bit. I'm just going off of the little bit I remember. But yeah, no, yeah. I'm trying to think. I didn't really play a lot of online games growing up, so I can't remember any other ones that had like real prominent healer classes. Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, I play a lot of Overwatch, so if that counts.
Okay.
Overwatch, yeah, has always like my main is the support role. I play like all of them except like two, but all the support characters I'm gonna play them. Like so, whenever I queue up for like a ranked or something like that, I'm gonna play support because that's I feel like you got so much control over the match, and if you die, everybody else dies.
Yeah.
So. And it's like a role that's not.
One of those characters got like a sniper rifle that can heal people. Like he's got.
That's Anna. That's Anna. That's like my favorite too. Anna. I play a lot of Anna, and but yeah, like it's just it's just kind of like just in medicine, a lot of people, nurses and EMTs and techs and stuff like that, they're not the most celebrated in society. but if they all disappeared, then everything would go to shit. And so it's kind of like the support role.
Like during COVID, like, I don't know how much it was like for EMTs, but like nurses and stuff was like, they went from, oh, you guys are such heroes, to you fucking motherfuckers, I swear to Christ, you guys put that Fauci at me, I'm gonna fucking kill you. It's just like, it's like you always get those two sides, right?
Yeah,
like,
no. At the beginning of the pandemic, people was clapping for them when they got back to their houses and
man
cooking them food and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then once the whole anti-vax stuff started coming in, I was seen as the devil who was trying to
it was
people.
It definitely was, man. Let me tell you, like, I got so much free food during like COVID. It would be like, it just be like random people would drop off food at our station.
Yeah.
And it was I was like, wow, this is great right here. Just somebody dropped off some food. Of course, it wasn't poison or anything like that. No one would do nothing like that. But dropped off some food there, and we was eating pretty good. It was almost to the point where I would come in and I didn't have to like buy lunch or prepare lunch because people were showing a lot of appreciation. But that of course all that like stopped. So
when the Trump nation attacked.
You're poisoning us.
I was about to say, I'm about to say they were still giving y'all food. Y'all just probably shouldn't eat it because probably had some razor blades up in there.
Hey man.
Well, speaking of the free food stuff, like, I know like since y'all already in that profession anyway, was like, is it like a real concern for y'all to eat? Was it a concern for y'all to eat that stuff? Like how do you judge the safety of that? Like, or did y'all just not care? Did y'all just eat it?
Honestly, me, I just be like, fuck it, give it to me. Like, because I mean, it's free food. I mean, I'm going to eat it. If I get sick or something, I'm be like, damn, I shouldn't have ate it, but it was good. So I don't know. But you do have people like my partner that I had. One of my previous partners. Whenever someone brought like food or something like that, she'd be like, I'm not eating that. And I was like, shit, give me your plate. I eat it.
Like, if it was store-bought, like, it'd definitely be trustworthy because, corporations got like standards to follow. Right. But it's like homemade stuff. It's just like, for all you know, it can be Betty who lets her cat like, in the kitchen and the cat's tail is in the damn.
Yeah, you gotta follow like
while she's like
trick or treat rules. Like my mom always had that rule for us when we went trick or treating. We can take all the candy we want, but if somebody tried to give homemade shit or like fruit or something, like instantly goes in the garbage. Like even
though they probably meant well, it's just safe and sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's true right there. We ain't getting no fruit. A lot of it was just like catered food type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay. So you was probably safe on that. Like nobody was over there baking homemade cakes and stuff and bringing it to y'all, right? Yeah.
Right. Nah. And if they did, it would be from like the supervisor or someone from the company or something like that. So you could trust it. It wasn't just random people bringing over like a pot of chili or something like that, or a pot of soup. Ain't no telling what's in that type of thing.
Yeah, so, but what if your supervisor will like pick up his French bulldog and be like, "Hey, you want to taste Gruffy?" Yes. They put the spoon right back in the bowl, like kind of thing. Like, what if they were that person?
I mean, if they were that person, I didn't know because I showed up to eat it. So,
all right, like
I'm still here. I'm still here. So
everybody else rocking around
no weapons formed.
The pot and avoiding it, and Marvin's over there eating it.
I'm telling you, it be like that sometime, man. Because like, let me tell you, like, man, like I don't waste no food, so. That's one of my biggest like pet peeves is like wasting food. So I mean, unless you have to, but if someone ain't gonna eat it, like I remember my previous partner, she used to always have this habit of buying food and taking like 2 bites of it and be like, I don't want it. I used to be like, what you mean you don't want it? And she'd be like, I had a taste of it. I wasn't that hungry. And I'm like, come on now. And then if I could, like, if she ain't like, dug in or whatever to it, I would say, here, just give it to me. I'll eat it, type of thing. So, but yeah, because I just don't, I don't like. It's probably just come from like a childhood thing where like I don't like wasting food.
Yeah.
So
like we're raised not to, But like, have y'all ever had to like cover like a food poisoning case or anything of that sort?
I mean, yeah, but ain't nothing we can do about food poisoning.
Right.
I mean, you just gotta give them
There's
like
literally nothing.
Cause when I got food poisoning, like I know, like once I was finally at the hospital, they had to just fill me with fluids and stuff. Since,
I mean,
that's throw up, like you just get dehydrated and shit.
Yeah, that's
like,
basically it. You just let it run its course. That's. I mean, there's nothing.
Had that bad of food poisoning when I went to the hospital. I remember I was a kid. I ate this hot dog, and boy, I was throwing up when I was like,
like it's the worst.
Oh, it's terrible.
Say,
It's one of the worst meals in the world, bro. You just be like, and you'd be thinking how good it tasted too in the moment. And you'd be like, dang.
And it's coming back.
I say, yeah. When it comes to food poisoning, the only thing they're gonna do at the hospital is give you fluids because the only thing they're worried about is dehydration.
Yeah.
So would you like whether it's coming from the basement or from the attic, that fluid's coming out of your body. So you need to replace them. And then, you ain't gonna have someone that's gonna sit there and when they feeling sick, chugging a bunch of water.
Yeah.
So trying to rehydrate themselves.
Don't stay down.
Yeah, it ain't gonna stay down. So that's why they directly into them dendu veins. Yeah. So something I was gonna say about that was that it's crazy because Black people, our veins are deeper in our skin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it doesn't make it any harder or anything. And then the darker you are, the harder it is to see the veins. So it's that's probably where he got the whole dendu veins. But yeah, but it's a lot of things that are between like different like races and groups of people that like and anatomically we're all pretty much the same, but there are just like little differences.
Yeah.
Like one thing my mom told me, who she's a respiratory therapist, she told me that whenever she would go to like intubate someone that was like Asian, their voice box was smaller than like ours. And when I mean intubate, I mean like put a tube down someone's throat.
Okay.
So so yeah, she said that their voice box was smaller. And I was like, that's interesting, that we're all still humans, but we have little like regional differences between us. And something else I just learned was that apparently East Asians don't really sweat.
Ooh.
It's something in their genes that doesn't something about it where they don't really sweat and like smell really bad. So it's one of those things where like from what I read, they said like in like a lot of East Asian countries, if we go over there and over here we put like deodorant on and perfume and cologne and stuff like that, it's considered like rude or like they look at you weird when you go in there smelling like that because they don't have those issues.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's honestly crazy right there.
I guess that explains like, cause I had an Asian teammate in wrestling. And, like he was never kind of thing. He never smelled foul. Like you know what I mean. So like after a grueling practice, like he never smelled foul. Like when I catch a whiff of him, like
right. And I'm sure there's like I read up on that, but I'm sure there's other like like East Asians that could confirm that or like whatever. So, but yeah, it's just.
But that's weird though because some Asian countries. But then again, you just say East.
Yeah, East. Yeah,
I know Thailand is like tropical. Like you have to sweat over there. Like the sun's beating you up.
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, it's just interesting. You know, we're all humans, and but we're all different, but we're all the same type of thing.
So
So, you know,
what would you say to to the people who are understandably skeptical about medicine as we know it, and like what's like the main oh well, if vaccines work, why are you worried about my child not getting it? You know what I'm saying? Like what would you say to someone who would say something like that? Like,
I mean, honestly, I would just tell them, there's medicine is not perfect, and we as a community and as a human, we've only made it this far because we've worked together to survive.
Yeah.
So this is just one of those, it's just one of those things, even back when we were like primal and stuff like that. If we found out something worked, then everybody took it, and that's just the same thing. And that's one of the things that we should focus more on is educating people and educating the populace to different things, whether like how our medical systems work and how our drugs work and stuff like that. Because a lot of times, well, this is something I do when I have with my patients. A lot of times I'll try to use it as a time for education type of thing, because a lot of doctors are so busy, doctors and nurses are so busy that they neglect to tell someone why they need to take something.
Yeah.
Like an example of that is like people that are on Lasix, which are water pills for people who got too much like fluid built up from like heart failure or something like that. They'll tell them, here, take Lasix, but also take this other drug, which is potassium.
Yeah.
And they need to educate them more on why they need to take it, because sometimes people will take their Lasix, but they won't take their potassium. And the reason why they need to take both of them is because with the Lasix, you pee out a lot of fluids, and with a lot of those fluids, a lot of potassium follows.
Right.
So, so some people be like, "Well, I didn't take this, but I took that," and it's like you just sometimes a lot of times the doctors nurses too busy, don't educate them. So whenever someone like that comes up to me, I'll be like, "Well, you need to take this because of this right here," and they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't know that," and another, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say these like people who have experiences. Like, what do you say to those who be like, well, shoot, man, them pills just make me more sick. I'd rather just drink this green tea. You know what I mean? Like, which to some people is true. Like, I mean, I'm not really trying to be a dick to them. Like, to some people, they do feel like, the pills that are being prescribed, is making them feel worse. However, they'll try a remedy from CB or whatever, and they feel good from that. So, like, what, like, I don't know, like how, cause like me personally is like, as much as I make fun of CB, it's like, I guess like if it's working for you, that's fine, but you can still consider what the professionals are saying as well.
Right.
Like,
Well, when I tell them, I like, look, like, basically they tell them, well, oh, this works for me and blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, well, go to your doctor and ask them about it. Because a lot of times the doctor be like, hey, if this works for you, or if you want to stop taking this and all your vitals and stuff are good, then don't take it. That's one case. But then the other case, I'd be like, well, just be like straight up, like, I mean, you're going to die if you stop taking this or if you don't take this. And you gotta be straight up with people, because they just don't sometimes they don't just quite understand what's gonna happen. Or I'd be like, or one thing I do is be like, do you want to keep coming back? Do you want to be in and out of the hospital all the time?
Right.
Don't nobody want to be in and out of the hospital. Take your medicine.
So Dr. Sebi says if I eat this celery, then this cancer will go away. Like,
no.
I really haven't, if I eat 6 yams, I'll never catch the cold again.
Nah, man. You say, you know what? You do that and you die. That's basically it.
And like and, and I guess like you working in this field, like I guess it does like keep you from getting scammed. But my thing is like I understand how it can be attractive, but it's just when you really think about it, like any of these things, right? Like, oh, this tea, this medical tea was formed from ancient Chinese. Like, they always got to put it far in the past, so where you
Yeah.
don't, like ancient Chinese traditions that
Yeah.
help you feel like, you know what I mean? Like I said, like it's working for you. But I used to wonder though, like, why would the ancient thing be a selling point? Because we found out more shit, right?
Right.
Like, so
I don't know
that's
why
what
it's like,
but it works. Like, is there something about us, the consumer? We hear, ancient practices. Oh, well, shit, like those wise. Was I guess we're kind of being racist in a sense, right? Like, oh, those wise, Fu Manchu having Chinese people. We were there.
right.
So I'm gonna drink this tea and be strong and kung fu and shit as well. Probably, I don't know, like, but
Yeah. Honestly, I think a lot of us just romanticize about simpler times.
Yeah.
And so when we hear ancient whatever, we're like, oh, this gets me in touch with like, my ancestors who, their life was a lot more simple and, they didn't worry about bills. I mean, they worried about getting eaten and stuff like that.
my thing
But,
is like, how come like we never thought about like, I mean, I'm just saying like niggas die like, granted, we may not have the best healthcare coverage,
Right.
but we do have the best healthcare that you can like. If you got the money to pay for it, we got the best of the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, even those who can afford the best of the best, sometimes they die.
Yeah.
So just imagine how many motherfuckers died under the witch doctor. You know what I mean? That they don't tell you. You know what I mean? So
well, I mean, especially because the life expectancy was like 32 back.
Like, I say your life expectancy was like garbage back then.
The witch doctor was like what 52, so he was probably like the oldest nigga there.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, like
you most likely died of the kid anyway, like depending on how far back we're going. So,
yeah, like I don't, I really don't particularly know that I got like a good answer for that. I don't know, man. Sometimes just people we are very creature, so everyone has different beliefs and stuff like that, and if people want to believe whatever they want to believe, you just got to be straight with them, tell them what could possibly happen, and let people live their lives, because it is freedom, and all that. It's just that the only thing that
I was gonna say
it becomes
like what if you see them just like posting this misinfo online, like as a medical professional, do you feel responsible to be like, well, like even though you're not gonna change that nigga's mind, like do you feel like you're responsible to at least like post counterfacts just for the people reading kind of thing, or do you still just scroll past, or do you just troll them? You know what I mean?
It all depends. A lot of times I'm all about education and information. So a lot of times I'll just, I don't really argue with people about stuff like that. Right. You just present the facts and then you leave it for that, because like you said, you're not going to change their mind. Their mind is set. But the people that's reading it, at least you make it like easily accessible for them to have all the information. Right. So they'll have all of the crazy dude's information, then they'll have all the facts, and then they can make their decision based upon that. Yeah, they can make their own decision.
We're like the one creature that has to be like advertised to. You know what I'm saying? Because like I could just be sitting here just like this, just stating actual factuals about the medical world. But like some hot chick, dressed like Erykah Badu with the whole shea butter on and stuff. Like, yeah, family. Yes, Mother Earth. Sister, you need to dip yourself in rose water and drink the black tea from the ancient African mountains of. You know what I mean? Like that sounds way better than, well, actually, if you take a half a cup of penicillin. So it's like, I don't know. It's like we need more like Bill Nye's and what's the other one's name? Neil Tyson's, because they have fun ways to communicate actual factual shit. But most scientists are not social. Like most scientists are authentic, like, believe it or not. Like and they don't know how to communicate with you. They're gonna be like facts, 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 facts. I don't give a fuck how you feel. Shut up. Facts, facts, facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
But unfortunately, like, as soft as it sounds, like to other humans, you got to make it sound good. So I don't know. That was something I was thinking about over the week. Just like, damn, like, we got to be sold on everything. You know what I mean?
We do. But I say, yeah, we do. Because I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, if I'm like between the ages of 15 and 18 and some Erica Badu chick talking about something, I'm probably gonna listen to her over like the old dude with the glasses or whatever in a lab coat. Like, I ain't listening to him. I'm gonna listen to this hot, attractive chick or whatever. So that's it's just all about presenting the information in a fun, creative way, and just being straight with people. Because a lot of scientists, they're brilliant, and with that brilliance, comes a lot of stunted like social growth, type of thing. So like, nothing against them or anything, but because they run the world and stuff, and they find new things. That's why they have to have people that are like spokesmen for them, and and have like people that representatives to talk for them. And even in the hospitals, they have people like that. Because, like I said, the doctors sometimes, again, a lot of them are geniuses too, and they don't really know how to talk to people a lot of times. So they'll have like liaisons and representatives come around and talk to patients and make sure they're okay and make sure they understand what the doctor is telling them and stuff like that. So that's one of the things I like to try to do with the people, and not even just my patients. I could just be in the hospital and then someone say, "Hey, what does this mean right here?" And I'll just talk to them about it. That's not even my patient, just someone just randomly, and just be straight with people and present it in a way that they can understand it. Because you've got some Poindexter doctor, he's gonna say, he's using all these big words and stuff like that, and be like, "Well, do you understand it?" And then the person's like, yeah, I guess. Because they just use a bunch of
you don't know what question to ask.
Yeah, you don't even know what. Yeah, it's one of those things where like you in like some calculus class, and then at like 5 minutes left, the teacher is like, "Any questions?" And you like, I mean, I don't know where to start. That type of thing. Because a lot of times they be like, "Here's your stuff. Take this, this, and this. Any questions?" Okay, I'm gone. And because too busy. Yeah, on to the next patient. So just education. Education is important. Always got to stress education.
Well, with that being said, on that note, I feel like this is a good place for us to.
Oh yeah, we've been over here for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, almost 2 hours.
Yeah, it's been good. This is good talks.
I joined late, but y'all the ones who handled down, man. Shout out to y'all, both of y'all, for holding down with actual education and knowledge.
Right.
But Marvis, thank you for coming on.
No problem.
We definitely got to have you back because
Yeah, I definitely will.
CB types, in our audience, who could probably talk to you because you're very nice when you deliver your so they won't get too defensive. They might actually hear what you're saying. So.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta make the education. You gotta make it for everybody, type of thing.
Right.
So yeah.
But if you want to catch Marvis again on here, if y'all want to just catch us again, catch the show again. We do this every Wednesday, 8 p.m. holding it down. You know, got my brother Tenzin up to what's that? Top left? Yeah.
Yeah,
Top
top
left.
left.
Marvin's up to my top right. My brother Los couldn't make it here today, but you know, he tries. And yeah, every Wednesday at 8, we hold it down for the fam. Join us here, join us on Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube page, follow everybody's individual pages as well. And we will see y'all next Wednesday. Peace, y'all.
All
We
right.
Peace,
out.
y'all.